They wanted to break you thought if they pushed hard enough, if they carved deep enough, you'd disappear. They dug into your soul, buried you in doubt, crushed you under the weight of silence and expectation. But you didn't shatter. You didn't vanish. You sank, yes, deep into the ground, into yourself, but not in surrender. You were becoming. You weren't just made of steel. Steel bends, steel rusts. You were born of something older, something wilder. You were born of ashes. From the wreckage, from the ruin, from the smoldering remains of everything they tried to erase, you emerged. Not polished, not pretty, but pure power. They don't understand that destruction doesn't end you, it refines you. Fire doesn't scare you. Fire made you. You are the aftermath, the embodiment of resilience, the truth that no matter how deep they bury you, you'll rise every single time, carved by pain, crowned by purpose, and lit from within by the flame they tried to extinguish. When the world turns its back and the light disappears, some crumble but not you. Born of Ashes is about what happens when a soul is forged not in comfort, but in chaos. It's about the ones left in the shadows, the forgotten, the underestimated. They were expected to vanish quietly. Instead, they rose. This is the moment of transformation, the birth of something unbreakable. Power isn't given, it's taken. Respect isn't asked for, it's demanded. Born of Ashes follows those who refuse to fade, who become the very force that shakes the ground. No more apologies, no more waiting. If the world won't open a door, they'll tear down the whole damn wall. This is not about becoming a hero. It's about becoming the storm. Born of Ashes doesn't follow the chosen ones, it follows the ones who chose themselves. The outcasts, the misfits, the ones who were told no so many times they stopped asking. They don't wear capes or crave applause. They wear scars like armor and walk with a fire that doesn't flicker. This is a story of rebirth, not from love, but from fury. Of turning silence into a weapon and pain into power. Each step forward is a defiance. Each breath is a rebellion. In this world, nothing is handed to you. So they learned to take. They built thrones from ruins, empires from ashes. They are not driven by vengeance, but by the need to never be powerless again. The world tried to bury them. It didn't realize they were seeds. Born of Ashes is a call to arms for anyone who's ever been broken, dismissed, or left behind. It's about rewriting the rules, tearing off the mask, and becoming exactly what the world fears most: unstoppable. They move in silence, but their presence is deafening. The ground shifts when they walk, not because they seek attention, but because they carry the weight of everything they've survived. Every betrayal, every loss, every whispered doubt, it's all woven into the fabric of who they are now. There's no going back to who they were. That person was burned away in the fire. What remains is something raw, untamed, and relentless. They don't dream of peace, they dream of mastery, of harnessing the chaos, of turning every bruise into a blueprint. Their ambition isn't about proving others wrong, it's about proving themselves right. There's no room for hesitation, no room for regret. They've made peace with the darkness inside, and in doing so, they've become whole. The world still watches, waiting for them to fall. But they don't stumble, they strike. Calculated, precise, unapologetic. They're not fueled by hate, but by clarity, the kind of clarity that only comes when you've stood alone and still chosen to rise. And now, they don't need saving. They are the storm, the reckoning, the final answer to a world that tried to silence them. No more begging, no more pretending. They aren't chasing destiny, they're becoming it. They speak less now because they've realized power doesn't need volume, it needs presence. Every movement is intentional, every decision carved from experience, not impulse. They're not trying to fit in anymore. They're building a world where they never have to shrink to be accepted, where they no longer have to trade pieces of themselves for a seat at someone else's table. The fire inside isn't rage, it's purpose. Controlled, focused. It doesn't burn out, it fuels every step forward. And those who once overlooked them, they start to watch closely, because something has shifted. There's a calm in their eyes that unnerves even the boldest. The kind of calm that says, I've already faced the worst, and I'm still standing. They've become the mirror people avoid, the truth that can't be softened. And they don't just survive adversity, they use it, mold it, weaponize it. Their past is no longer a wound, it's a forge. Every scar is a signature. Every silence a strategy. They've learned that when you stop waiting for doors to open, you learn how to build your own damn fortress. Now they move like inevitability. They don't arrive, they emerge. Not from luck, not from chance, but from choice. The choice to endure. The choice to evolve. The choice to become everything they were told they'd never be and more. They don't owe anyone an explanation. Not for their resilience, not for their transformation. What they've built inside themselves is sacred, earned through nights that offered no comfort, through battles no one saw, through pain that taught more than peace ever could. They've learned to trust the silence, to find strategy in stillness, and to see clearly through chaos. There's no more chasing, no more asking. They walk their own path now, unshaken, unbent. Not because they've hardened, but because they've refined. What once was fragile has become formidable. They've made a home in discomfort and turned uncertainty into momentum. Failure doesn't scare them anymore, it sharpens them. They've fallen before, and each time they've risen with less fear and more fire. Those who underestimated them will try to rewrite the past, to act like they always believed. But it's too late. This isn't about recognition. It's about redemption on their own terms. They don't crave the spotlight, they are the flicker in the dark that becomes an inferno. And now, when they stand still, the world leans in, because something in them speaks louder than noise ever could, a quiet, unshakable truth. They will not be moved. They are the aftermath, the echo of everything that tried to break them. They are proof that you can be shattered and still become unbreakable. They've stopped looking over their shoulder. What's behind them has no power here. The doubts, the losses, the voices that once questioned their worth, they've all faded into background noise. What matters now is forward, relentlessly, unapologetically forward. Every step they take is grounded in who they've become, not perfect, not polished, but real, solid, unshakable. They've become fluent in pain, fluent in perseverance. Where others see obstacles, they see opportunity. Not because it's easy, but because they've done the hard thing so many times it's become muscle memory. And while others wait for the stars to align, they're out carving constellations with their bare hands. This isn't about revenge. It's about arrival. Arrival on a level few will ever reach. Not because they couldn't, but because they wouldn't endure the fire it takes to get there. These ones did. These ones never stopped. They bled, they broke, they burned, but they never bowed. And that changes everything. Now they move with the weight of purpose. The kind of weight that crushes excuses. The kind that clears rooms not with rage, but with presence. And when they speak, they don't need to shout. Their truth rings out in every action, every glance, every breath. Because they are no longer becoming. They are. The culmination of every no, every door slammed, every night spent questioning if it was worth it. They carry it all not as burden, but as blueprint. This is what rising really looks like. Not always graceful, not always clean, but true. They've learned to walk through storms without flinching, to bleed without breaking, to lose without losing themselves. And now, there's a different kind of fire behind their eyes, not the fire of survival, but of intention. Of knowing exactly who they are and what they're here to do. They don't waste energy proving themselves. Their existence is proof enough. Every breath they take is defiance. Every step they take is declaration. I'm still here. I'm not done. People start to notice. Not just the ones who doubted, but the ones who need to believe it's possible. The ones still fighting through the quiet, still trying to find their edge. They see this and they understand. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, keep going. So they do. Not to be followed, not to be praised, but because quitting is no longer an option. It never was. They've come too far, seen too much, become too much to ever go back. There's no reverse in this kind of evolution. Only momentum, only forward, only more. And when the world asks, who are you to rise like this? They won't answer with words. They'll answer by becoming everything they were told they couldn't be. They see the glow in your eyes and call it anger because they fear conviction. They feel your silence and mistake it for distance because they can't comprehend peace born from war. They don't know what it took to build this version of you. Every scar is a story. Every crack is a map. And every step forward is made with the full weight of everything you've endured. You move like someone who's been through hell and built a home there. You don't flinch, you don't fold, because you know now ashes aren't the end. They're the beginning, the soil from which strength grows. The fire didn't ruin you, it revealed you. You are the storm they tried to contain. You are the quiet before the quake. And when you rise, you don't rise alone, you rise with every part of yourself they tried to bury. You were never meant to break. You were meant to ignite. And more. Like, comment, and subscribe.